Here is the most expensive lesson I can teach you today. The best time to find a problem with a piece of land is before you buy it, not after. After you have bought land with an undisclosed covenant restricting development, that covenant does not disappear. After you have bought land with a badger set that prevents building on 40% of the site, the badgers do not move. After you have bought land that turns out to flood every 3 years, the Environment Agency data was there all along. Due diligence is not caution, it is not pessimism. It is not a sign that you lack faith. Due diligence is stewardship. It is the responsible management of resources that God has entrusted to you. And in this video, I am going to walk you through every check you must complete before spending £1 on UK land. Welcome back to Continent Business Hubs, the channel where we equip entrepreneurs with the financial knowledge, the practical tools, and the kingdom foundations to build real, lasting wealth that funds God's purposes in the world. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications. We publish new content every week. Before I get into the individual checks, I want to talk about the team you need around you. Because one of the biggest mistakes first-time land investors make is trying to do this alone. Land is not like buying a house. There is no standard conveyancing process. There is no estate agent holding your hand through the transaction. Land purchases can involve complexities, agricultural tenancies, complex titles, multiple parcels, access negotiations that require specialist expertise. You need 4 people in your professional team. Let me walk you through each one. First, a specialist land solicitor. Not a general property solicitor, not the same person who did your house purchase. You need someone who specifically works with agricultural land, rural property, and planning gain transactions. They will conduct all the legal searches, review the title register, identify any covenants, check for easements and rights of way, and make sure you know exactly what you are buying. Budget £1,500 to £3,500 for a clean purchase. Second, an independent planning consultant. This is the most important appointment you will make. An independent planning consultant, not attached to a developer or a land promoter with their own agenda, will give you an honest, written assessment of the land's planning potential. They will review the planning history, assess the local plan context, identify the key planning risks and opportunities, and advise on the most effective strategy. A desktop planning appraisal costs £500 to £1,500. It is worth 10 times that in avoided mistakes. Third, ARICS registered rural surveyor. For agricultural land in particular, a chartered rural surveyor will advise on the fair market value, identify any agricultural tenancies that may complicate your plans, and assess the physical condition of the land, boundaries, drainage, any existing structures. Fourth, an ecologist when needed. If the land has any features that could support protected species, trees, hedgerows, ponds, old buildings, rough grassland, commission a Phase 1 habitat survey before purchase. This is a preliminary ecological assessment that flags any features requiring further investigation. It costs £500 to £1,500 and gives you the information you need before you commit. Do not see this professional team as a cost. See them as insurance and as your most important source of education about the land you are considering buying. Let me walk you through the legal checks. Your solicitor will handle these, but you need to understand what they are looking for. Title check. The fundamental question. Does the seller actually own what they are selling? Is the title clean? No disputes, no missing parcels, no overriding third-party interests? Your solicitor will conduct a land registry search and review the title register. Restrictive covenants. A restrictive covenant is a legal obligation attached to the land that restricts what it can be used for. Common examples include covenants preventing residential development, restricting the number of buildings that can be erected, or requiring the land to be kept as open space. These covenants can be decades or even centuries old, and they run with the land, not with the seller. If a covenant exists, you need to know about it before you buy. In some cases, they can be insured against or challenged through the land's tribunal, but only if you know they exist. Easements. An easement is a right that someone else has over your land, typically a right-of-way or a right to pass services through it. Common examples include gas pipeline easements, electricity cable easements, and sewer easements. Easements restrict where you can build. A gas pipeline running diagonally across your site may prevent development of a significant portion of it. Your solicitor will identify all registered easements. But be aware, some rights-of-way are unregistered, particularly historic footpaths, and may only become apparent when you physically inspect the land. Agricultural tenancy. If the land is currently farmed by a tenant under a formal Agricultural Holdings Act tenancy or a farm business tenancy, ending that tenancy can be complicated, time-consuming, and potentially expensive. Always confirm the tenancy situation before purchase. A motivated vendor who is in a hurry to sell may not volunteer this information if you do not ask. Planning checks. Your planning consultant will lead these, but again, you need to understand what you are looking for. Planning history. Every planning application ever made on a site is publicly recorded on the Council's planning portal. Search the site address and the land reference. Look for previous applications, approved or refused, and read the decision notices. A previous refusal is not automatically fatal, but the reasons given in a refusal notice tell you what the Council objected to. Are those objections still valid? Have the policy circumstances changed? Has comparable development been approved nearby since the refusal? Designation checks. Is any part of the land within an area of outstanding natural beauty, a site of special scientific interest, a conservation area, or within the setting of a listed building? Each of these designations adds planning complexity and may constrain what can be built. Policy position. Is your target land inside or outside the settlement boundary? Is it allocated, promoted, or not yet in the planning system? What does the Council's local plan say about this area? Is there a neighborhood plan for this parish that adds additional constraints? Physical checks are the ones you can often do yourself, with the right tools. Flood risk. Go to the Environment Agency's flood map for planning, available free at environment.data.gov.uk. Enter the site's postcode or coordinates and identify which flood zone it falls in. Zone 1, very low risk. Zone 2, low to medium risk. A flood risk assessment will be required with any planning application, but development is possible. Zone 3A, high risk. Development may be possible, but requires strong justification and mitigation. Zone 3B, functional floodplain. Residential development is almost certainly not appropriate. Access, walk the site. Stand at every potential access point and ask, could a construction vehicle get in here? Could a residential street be created here? Is the access on your title, or does it cross adjacent land, walk the boundary? Check every hedge, fence, and ditch against the title plan. Drainage. Where would surface water and foul water from new development discharge? Is there a sewer nearby? Is the land at the top or the bottom of a slope? Low-lying land in a bowl shape may have drainage challenges even if it is not in a formal flood zone. Utilities. Where are the nearest electricity, gas, water, and telecommunications connections? The cost of bringing services to a remote site can dramatically affect the economics of development. Use the utility company's connection maps. Most are available online to assess infrastructure proximity. Let me give you the complete due diligence checklist. Print this out. Use it on every site. Legal checks. Clean title confirmed. No undisclosed covenants. All easements identified and mapped. No agricultural tenancy complications. Access confirmed in title. No boundary disputes. Planning checks, full planning history reviewed. No outstanding enforcement notices. No prohibitive designations. Council local plan position confirmed. Neighborhood plan checked. Physical checks. Flood zone confirmed as Zone 1 or manageable Zone 2. Access physically adequate and legally confirmed. Drainage route identified, utilities within a reasonable distance, no visible contamination or former industrial use. Professional appraisals completed. Independent planning consultant desktop appraisal obtained in writing. Rural surveyor value assessment completed. Phase 1 habitat survey completed if any ecological features present. If every box on that checklist is ticked satisfactorily, you are in a position to make an informed purchase decision, not a risk-free purchase. There's no such thing in investment, but an informed one. That is how Kingdom investors operate. With diligence, with wisdom, and with the courage to walk away from a deal that does not meet the standard, no matter how attractive it looks on the surface. The Land Code. Complete due diligence chapter inside gives our store at payhip.com/ljventures. Before I let you go, if today's video gave you value and you want the complete roadmap in your hands right now, I've written a book specifically for UK entrepreneurs called The Land Code. It covers Everything we talked about today in full detail, with a 25-point deal scoring system, a complete due diligence checklist, a step-by-step 90-day action plan, and a full kingdom-giving architecture. The link is in the description below. It's called the Land Code. It's available right now on payhip.com/ljventures, and the price will not be this low forever. Go get it. If this video helped you, please do 3 things right now. Hit the like button. It genuinely helps this content reach more people. Subscribe if you haven't already. And drop a comment below. Tell me, what's your biggest question about land banking in the UK? I read every single comment and I will reply. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.